"Hurry up with the coffee," she demanded, her voice full of urgency. "This is why people who drop out and aren't even good-looking are just terrible at their jobs as housekeepers," my sister-in-law said with a smug expression on her face. Her words stung, and I was about to say something back, but then something unexpected happened. I noticed her fiancé standing nearby, and just as I caught his eye, there was a sudden, surprising hug. It was so out of the blue that I didn't quite understand what was going on. But somehow, that hug changed everything. It felt like the roles between me and my sister-in-law were reversed in an instant. Let me introduce myself. My name is Lauren, and I'm 37 years old. One of my favorite things to do is fall asleep while watching videos of my child's dance recital. My child is the best, an absolute angel. The way they move their tiny limbs and their adorable little butt during the dance is just the cutest thing ever. Spoiling my child is something I love doing because, to a parent, their child always seems more special than any other. And now that I'm thinking about it, maybe that's how my sister-in-law, Lily, was brought up too. Let's go back a few years to when I had just become a newlywed. When Jack, my husband, proposed, he mentioned that he wanted us to live with his parents after we got married. I was nervous at the thought, but I agreed. Moving in with my in-laws, Frank and Olivia, in their duplex, was a decision that many say doesn't work out well. But to my surprise, Frank and Olivia were incredibly kind, which put me at ease. Feeling reassured, I was happy to go ahead with the wedding plans. But things didn't stay smooth for long. At first, everything seemed fine with my in-laws, but things started to get strained with Lily. It began when I visited Jack's family home to discuss wedding details and registration. A relative of Jack's who was visiting at the time made a comment, saying, "Jack, you've got yourself a pretty bride." I felt flattered, but at that moment, I noticed Lily glaring at me with cold eyes. Frank, Jack's father, responded cheerfully, "Jack's lucky to have such a beauty." But when I glanced over at Lily again, I thought I saw her glaring at Frank too. At first, I thought I was just imagining things, so I brushed it off and soon forgot about it since we didn't see each other for a while. However, on the day of the wedding, something strange happened. Lily showed up wearing a white dress. She's in her late 30s, so she's definitely not an uninformed student who doesn't know the basic rules of wedding etiquette. She deliberately chose a color that clashed with my wedding dress. Naturally, my in-laws and Jack were shocked and asked, "What were you thinking?" But she simply replied, "This was all I had." According to my in-laws, Lily had left the house wearing a different colored dress and must have changed into the white dress on her way to the wedding, doing so sneakily. Changing clothes in secret like that can only be seen as a malicious act. To make matters worse, she even made a snide comment about my wedding dress, saying, "When Lauren wears it, it doesn't really look like a wedding dress, more like a cheap $250,000 dress. I guess it depends on who's wearing the fancy clothes." Then she just walked away. I couldn't understand why she would do something so hurtful. The next day, after the wedding ceremony, Lily's attitude changed dramatically. While I was doing my chores, she suddenly interrupted me, saying, "Hey, don't wash my laundry with yours." I had taken over the housework for Olivia, my mother-in-law, and was just trying to help out. But Lily didn't like that I had washed her laundry together with mine. She said, "Washing my clothes with a plain Jane's clothes might make me plain too. Disgusting. Wash them again." And then she threw her laundry at me before leaving the room. You might think I should have said something back, but I was so shocked that I couldn't find the words. Adults don't talk like that, right? Separating laundry because plainness might spread. It's the kind of thing you'd expect from a teenage girl who's just learning to be independent, not from a grown woman. To avoid any further hassle, I pretended to re-wash the clothes, but just put them back in her closet. Olivia even said it was fine and apologized for Lily's behavior. But from that day on, Lily was relentless. It's true that I dropped out of school when I was younger to chase a dream, so my highest level of education is incomplete. But it's never been an issue for me, and I'm not ashamed of it. Being belittled for my education felt trivial to me. Lily, on the other hand, graduated from a national college near her home. It's not a prestigious university, but she acts like she's more elite than me because of it. She even started saying, "I'm an elite, unlike you." But Lily wasn't always like this. I couldn't figure out what had made her so upset, but a few months after the wedding, we had a gathering with relatives. Although everyone had already met at the wedding, this get-together was more relaxed, giving them a chance to chat with me and Jack. The atmosphere was lively, and soon enough, the conversation turned to our wedding. Jennifer's wedding dress was so cute, one of the relatives exclaimed. "Absolutely, Jack is lucky to have such a beautiful woman. I can't wait to see what their kids will look like," another added, clearly excited about our future together. I don't mean to brag, but I've always felt confident in my looks. Jack might not fit the traditional mold of handsome, but he has a well-balanced face and a charming aura that makes him popular with people. As the relatives chatted, lost in their own conversations and compliments, I noticed Lily bristling with displeasure. She suddenly blurted out, "You all might not know, but I was really popular in my school days." That was when it clicked for me. I understood the root of Lily's anger. Despite the stunned expressions of everyone around, Lily started bragging about how she was constantly admired in school, how men would swarm around her whenever she walked down the street. Honestly, it sounded far-fetched, especially when looking at Lily. To be frank, Lily isn't what you call traditionally beautiful. She has small eyes and a large, round nose, making it hard to believe the stories she was telling. Everyone listened with skeptical looks on their faces and soon lost interest, quickly changing the subject. I continued to listen out of pity, but it was hard to stay engaged when you could tell it was all made up. Later, when I went to the kitchen to get some drinks, Lily followed me and suddenly yanked my hair from behind. "What? You think you're better than me?" she hissed. I was taken aback and confused. "What are you talking about?" I asked. "I know you were just humoring me when I said I was popular." "I can tell," she snapped. I was momentarily at a loss for words. I mean, she had started claiming to have had 7 boyfriends at one point. It was obviously a lie. I had tried to listen earnestly, but it's hard to stay interested when you know it's all made up. "You think you're so great just because you're called pretty, right? That's just because our country relatives aren't used to seeing women," she sneered, her grip tightening on my hair. "Lily, I'm not feeling great about this," I said, trying to keep calm. But she wasn't done. "Shut up," she shouted, yanking my hair even harder. "In this house, no. In this neighborhood, I'm the cutest. I've been told I'm cute since I was a child. Don't get cocky just because you wear makeup." Lily, who couldn't become prettier even with makeup, continued to accuse me. Okay, you're the cutest, Lily," I said, trying to pacify her. "See, you're just saying that," she snapped back. "Dropouts like you with your fake concern are so obvious." She pushed me, releasing my hair, and I fell hard to the floor. Satisfied, she spat in my face and said, "Don't get carried away just because you're called cute." "I'm the cutest," Lily declared as she walked away. This incident, of course, had to be reported to Jack and my in-laws. When I shared the story, everyone had a "not again" expression on their faces. I learned that Lily is a narcissist with an inflated sense of self-esteem, just like she acted at the family gathering. It turns out the root of this behavior was her late grandfather, who doted on her as his only granddaughter. He always told her she was cuter than celebrities on TV, which apparently skewed her perception of beauty. Because of this, she seems to believe she's the epitome of cuteness. This caused her trouble with classmates when she was younger, leading to conflicts. Everyone apologized to me for the inconvenience, but said there was nothing they could do. It seems Lily won't listen to anyone, according to Jack and the in-laws. I understood, but it was frustrating to hear that nothing could be done, especially when Lily's behavior wasn't just verbally abusive but also physically harmful. I thought to myself, they should do something about it. I even started considering divorce so soon after getting married. But then, within just 2 weeks, Lily brought home a man, introducing him as her fiancé. We were all surprised, as none of us had even heard that she was dating anyone. Her fiancé, Eric, was a serious-looking man with glasses, who seemed timid and kept his head down. Lily, on the other hand, was acting tough and domineering. There was no sign of affection or intimacy between them, making me wonder if he was really okay with marrying Lily. While I was preparing coffee in the kitchen, lost in thought about the situation, Lily started berating me again. "Hey, housekeeper, hurry up with the coffee. This is what happens when dropouts who are unattractive try to do a simple task. Don't keep my fiancé waiting. If this engagement gets called off, it's your fault," she snapped. Jack and the in-laws tried to calm her down, telling her that enough was enough, but she wouldn't listen. Just as I was about to respond, Eric looked up at me. His gaze was so intense that it caught me off guard. I was speechless and asked, "What? Why are you looking at me like that?" Then suddenly he exclaimed, "Sandra," and hugged me tightly. Lily, taken aback, let out a confused "huh." Everyone in the room was shocked. Eric continued, "You've been doing well. I was worried about you after you retired. There's no information about you online." I was flustered and mumbled, sorry." Eric quickly let go, realizing my discomfort. Lily, still confused, asked, "What's going on? Are you a fan for my marriage?" Eric, now more confident, proudly responded, "Yes, I'm a fan of Sandra." He seemed so different from the timid person we had seen earlier. Olivia, puzzled, asked, "Sandra, who's that?" Jack then explained, "It's the idol group Lauren used to be part of, right?" I nodded silently, unsure of how to respond. Amy Maria, later known as Amy and Maria, was the musical group I was part of during my teenage years. I moved to the city at 17 and performed under the stage name Mime Pew until I was 20. While Amy Maria wasn't world famous, we had our share of popularity. Unfortunately, the group disbanded because of some members' misconduct, and I left the music industry when I was 21. I had been a lead member and the group's leader, and it was because of this that I dropped out of school. I chose to follow my dream, working part-time jobs to support myself, and I've never regretted that decision. Back when I was a teenager and later decided to marry Jack, I was working at an apparel shop. I had never mentioned my past as a musician to my in-laws or to Lily. The topic just never came up, and I felt it wasn't relevant to my current life. "Wow, you were a musician. That's amazing. Why didn't you tell us?" Olivia exclaimed, thrilled to learn something new about me. "I had some fame, but it wasn't enough to appear on TV," I explained, feeling a bit embarrassed about it. I didn't really think it was worth mentioning. Now, being reminded of that part of my life in front of everyone, I felt a mix of emotions: pride, nostalgia, and a bit of embarrassment. Eric, still glaring at Lily, said, "Lily, you just said some harsh words to Sandra, didn't you?" Lily stumbled over her words, clearly taken aback by the sudden attention. "Oh, well, she muttered, not sure how to respond. Eric didn't let up. "How could you say such things to Sandra? What right do you have to act all high and mighty?" he snapped. "You ugly girl." Suddenly, Eric's anger flared, and he lunged at Lily, leaving everyone in the room stunned. "What? These two are engaged," someone whispered in disbelief. I quickly intervened, trying to calm the situation down. "Eric, calm down. I'm not bothered by it. Don't be so harsh on her," I said, turning to him, but Eric wasn't ready to let it go. "No, Sandra, you're wrong." Eric raised his voice, his frustration clear. "She only approached me because I'm a doctor. She said she would marry anyone if it meant bragging to her sister-in-law." "That's not true, Eric," I said quietly, trying to de-escalate the situation. But Eric wasn't done. A girl who proposes just after 3 weeks of dating means nothing to me, he said, his voice heavy with disappointment. We were all dumbstruck by the unfolding drama. Apparently, Lily had planned to marry a high-status man just to boast to me. She had told people she'd caught a doctor husband because of her education. Before our wedding, Lily had scored her contacts, attending any dinner party and approaching any man with good prospects. Of course, it wasn't easy to find such a perfect match. Initially, she had casually confessed to handsome men or those in high corporate positions, but she faced nothing but failure. A few weeks later, Lily met Eric, a doctor. Not wanting to lose the chance of being with someone who earned a good income, Lily set her sights on Eric. Eric, inexperienced in love, thought to himself, "No one has ever pursued me so passionately." But a week later, he overheard Lily on the phone and realized the harsh truth: she didn't love him. She was just after the status of marrying a doctor. Despite this realization, Eric accepted her proposal, hoping that maybe, over time, Lily might grow to love him. Lily, who was willing to settle for anyone, and Eric, who just wanted to seize the opportunity, seemed oddly suitable for each other. But I kept silent, feeling that no one should marry a girl who looks down on others. Eric was beyond furious, while Lily was visibly frightened by his unexpected anger. Normally mild-mannered, Eric was enraged, which took everyone by surprise. Lily, in a weak voice, muttered, "What's so good about that dropout? That ugly girl? How dare you call Sandra ugly? You're the one who's lacking in class," Eric retorted, his anger intensifying. I decided to step in, my voice calm but firm. "Lily, you keep bringing up my dropout status. Is it really that bad?" I asked, watching as Eric's expression hardened. "Without education, of course it's bad," Lily replied, trying to sound confident, but failing. "So, the owner of your favorite restaurant, who started chef training right after high school, is bad too. And what about your favorite actor, who's also a dropout? Are they bad because they didn't complete their education?" I asked, pressing the point. "That's different, they're in special professions," Lily stammered, trying to defend her argument. "Well, I chose to drop out for a special career too as a musician. Does it only count if I'm successful?" I challenged her, my eyes locking onto hers. "I didn't even know you were a musician," Lily muttered, clearly taken aback. "Yeah, but even if you did know, you would have found another reason to insult me, wouldn't you?" I said, catching Lily off guard. She averted her eyes, unable to meet my gaze. "I don't like to brag about education," I continued, "but since you brought it up, let's talk about it. You might brag about Princeton, but your national colleges. Anyone can get in just by writing their name. And let's not forget, you graduated from the lowest performing high school in the state. Are you just proud of being able to write your name? Isn't that a bit empty?" I said with a smile, watching as Lily's face turned red with embarrassment. "Shut up," Lily snapped, but her voice lacked conviction. "Amazing, Lily, you can write your name. Are you satisfied now? You want to look down on me?" "Go ahead, Lily, you're amazing," I said, mockingly clapping for her. Eric joined in, exclaiming, "Cute. Why did I forget about Sandra for such an ugly girl? Fans are incredible, even now." Even though I didn't see myself as particularly cute, standing beside an adoring Eric, Lily's self-esteem crumbled. She looked devastated, muttering, "This is the worst. I've never been made fun of like this. I'm cute. It's your fault, you know. And besides, it's not just looks, your personality isn't cute either." "I know I'm not the cutest either," I admitted, "but I'm not as bad as you. Maybe start by fixing that ugly personality of yours." "What? Who do you think you are?" Lily's face twisted with anger. "You see," I continued calmly, "a woman's face ages with time. There's no point in being overly confident about your looks. What's important is the heart. Inner beauty shows on your face." Olivia clapped and nodded in agreement. "That's well said," she remarked. Jack added with a wry smile, "True. I used to like cute girls when I was younger, But when I started thinking about marriage, I began to value comfort and personality more. Lily, with your current attitude, you won't find happiness in marriage. Frank, my father-in-law, sharply commented, you were always called cute, but that was as a grandchild, not in the eyes of the world. With a bad personality, you'll end up being ugly both inside and out. Lily sighed deeply, feeling the weight of everyone's words. This is just the worst, she muttered, and then she started crying. Eric, showing no mercy, said, even though my fiancé is crying, I can't help but think that a girl with a bad personality has an ugly crying face. Let's call off this marriage. I'm confident I won't fall for someone like this. Sorry for being distracted by her, Sandra. And just like that, Lily's engagement ended incredibly quickly. She was kicked out of the house, with everyone telling her she needed to learn about life and work on herself. Initially, Lily was defiant. I have friends, she said. I won't let being kicked out bother me. But within 5 days, she returned home, defeated. I fought with my friend and got kicked out. Can I come back? She asked, her voice full of desperation. It seemed even her friend had seen through Lily's flaws after spending so much time together. No one was willing to take her in, and of course, my in-laws and Jack didn't accept her back either. They regretted pampering Lily too much over the years and apologized to me for not taking action sooner. We heard what was happening, but we didn't act. We're sorry, they said. I understand, I replied. It's hard for parents to kick out their child, but she's 21 now. She's an adult and needs to take responsibility for her actions. Jack then confessed that he had secretly planned to provide Lily with a separate house to live in, away from me. But before he could put his plan into action, Lily was already kicked out. He apologized to me, saying, I'm sorry for making you endure that. A husband should protect his wife better, or else I'll deserve to be divorced. I smiled and joked back, well, I guess you're safe this time. Afterward, Lily moved into her own place, but life wasn't easy for her. She was robbed, asked for money by men she met on a dating app, sprained her ankle falling off her bike, and even found all her oranges rotten in her fridge. It seemed like her past misdeeds were catching up with her. Well, good luck to her, not that I'm really thinking about it much. I'm busy these days raising our little girl. She's growing up so fast it feels like just yesterday she was crawling, and now she's started walking around on her own. Recently, she even told me with a big smile on her face, Mommy, I have a boyfriend. It's a boy from her kindergarten class. They started dating after playing house together and even made a little promise to get married one day. It's so cute and innocent. When Jack heard about it, he jokingly cried while sipping his drink, saying, Don't leave Dad and get married. Of course, we both know that their relationship is just like playing house, a part of childhood fun. But it's also a reminder of how quickly kids grow up. Someday, our little girl will find someone she truly wants to marry, and when that time comes, we'll be ready to support her. Until then, Jack and I are focused on raising her to be the best person she can be. She's our pride and joy, and we want to help her become an even more wonderful young lady as she grows. But right now, the road to becoming a lady is still long, filled with learning moments and playful adventures. Speaking of which, she just made a big mess in the living room, so it's time for a little lecture and a cleanup. Every day brings new challenges and joys, and I'm excited to see the person she'll become.